What is good, my anime faithful? What is good, yo? I try to use the most fiery guy I could find, being Solma, but Yukihira, but it his moves aren't nearly as fire as they used to be. Like he used to only do fire moves. But anyway, Um, I wanted to talk about Fire Force, but I think it's smarter if I talk about Food Wars first, real quick, and then do a double length of Fire Force, because 2 episodes and I gotta talk a lot. So Food Wars this week is the thing that I was kind of looking forward to a lot, just to see in the grand scheme of if they're going to be able to just usher in something that is going to have, a longevity for the show, some more history and stuff like that. And we definitely got that with this overall episode of us learning um, everybody who kind of was on the Rebel team having a pivotal role of just doing something around in the school area now, which as a whole is interesting, but you gotta remember these all these students that we were watching were all first years, so everything they were doing was relatively new to them. Like they've never been in this school before. This is their first year, and a very impactful first year it was. It seemed like, right, man? Like to go through what they all went through throughout all of this was relatively crazy. Not only do like every single day you have a chance of just getting kicked out and expelled from the school for losing too many matches, but it almost sounds like, that aspect of being disqualified was a nice, like little tidbit of like, hey, if you lose this, you get eliminated. But now think of it like this, where that limitation is not there. The limitation of, oh, you lose, you get expelled. Like, now take that away, and what do you get? You get something a lot more um, flexible, I can say. Like, to be fair, a show where if you lose, you get, pretty much sent somewhere else, or, you have to start attending a new school or something along those lines. Um, those types of things are what make this show kind of I'm not saying interesting, but it makes these shows like predictable, right? Like you can predict that if that's the route they want to go, then that just means there's only so much like nuance they can do. Like there's only so many characters that can actually lose if the losing is going to get the characters completely taken out of the show, right? So that's kind of how I see it. I think whenever you take out the possibility of them leaving and being gone for the rest of the time, it makes the show, be able to be more flexible. That means main characters can actually lose and grow from their losses instead of losing, getting kicked out of the whole entire school and never being seen again, supposedly, right? So it's stuff like that that kind of has me hopeful for the grand, like, overhaul of Food Wars, and if it does plan on keep going in the future. I don't know though. I mean, we've been in a position to see a lot of this stuff kind of continuously transpire over the times, but at the same time, we've also seen a lot of these characters really grow in tremendous ways, like ridiculously powerful compared to what they were at the start to where they are now. It's a huge, huge change in their cooking, and not only that, their character as a whole, them being able to do what they want to do, them being able to live a much better school years and stuff like that. They gotta be happy about it, right? Like, to be fair, a lot of people haven't had like the best goes at this place, you would imagine. Being anywhere not on the top, you kind of just get looked down upon, and get looked at like you aren't going to ever really beat anybody or surpass anybody. So why focus on you? But with this week's episode, we get to just see where Yukihira and all of his friends are going to be at the end of the day. We also got a little bit of a time skip, I guess you can say, with them looking much older than they did in the previous little bit that we see in the beginning of the episode. They just come off looking a bit older. So I thought that was cool. I also just know that everything we've seen so far in this show has been relatively like good as a whole, but at the same time, there's only so much that you can continue to do in a show until it gets dry. And I'm just hoping that Food Wars can find that lane where they can just continuously have new stuff popping up and not feel like over the top or feel forced. Because at this point, um, it looks like the way that they're already jumping into the next season is going to be with new first years that maybe aren't as deadly as it comes down to like Yukihira Soma and how he just became the top seat within 1 year. I mean, let's be fair. We might see one of them become high up and catch like a chair, like a seat, because that's what I was saying earlier. Is not only do we have like a bunch of characters in those seats that we wouldn't normally see, um, but it feels like because they're there as well, it won't feel that off-putting to see them lose, right? Like we've seen these characters lose before. It's possible, and not only is it possible, there's new characters that are going to be coming in sooner or later that are going to probably have more drive and more passion than previous characters already did, right? So that's the type of stuff I expect from the storytelling here. And at the same time, I do really see like a future for a lot of episodes if they really want to. I mean, imagine all of our main characters losing their seats or something and having to kind of climb their way back up, but the only person who's up top is the director, Godtongue, who more or less doesn't even participate in matches as much as she just watches over the school and makes sure that everybody's being treated fairly and not getting cheated out in any way. So, I don't know. I'm really interested in what Food War is going to bring next season already, because the weird part was I was expecting Yukihira to be the one traveling and trying to live his life kind of like how his father did in the case of just learning what's out there. But of course he found a way to do that himself, right? Because the girl who actually does that, which was really cool, um, is the girl that's been right there kind of since the beginning of the show, you know. She was actually the first character who saw what Yukihira was doing, and she's like, please don't let that guy be on my team, because he is trouble. he, he is getting in a lot of trouble, and I want nothing to do with it. And of course, that just happened to be his teammate. So um, that that just goes to show you like how long it's been and how much trust has been like garnered over the course of these 4 seasons. I really do recommend you checking out Food War. I know some people don't care for the eating bits where people are eating and acting some type of way while they're eating, or they don't like the clothes blowing off. There's multiple things that can, you know, take you away from wanting to watch this, and I understand that. But at the same time, I think if you are into plots and you like story, this story is pretty good from my standpoint. And there was some very predictable parts, but I mean, we're talking about a show that is all about food and cooking food and being better at cooking food than someone else. So for them to even have any types of plot that I didn't see coming was a nice change of pace. So overall, I hope you guys are having an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. We have another season finale to talk about very soon here, even though it was 2 episodes back to back. It still felt like a nice little break in between for me while watching Fire Force on the 2 episodes. But that's for another video, and I can't wait to talk to you guys about it very soon here, so keep your ears and eyes open. I'm not going to do a double upload for Fire Force. I'm just going to do one and just have it all together. So I think that's a way to just kind of prove my point that I'm not here for views, and I'm not here for like milking out as much content as I can, and whatever the case may be. I'd rather do it conveniently so everybody can enjoy it quickly, get to it fast, and be done with it, right? Instead of being like, okay, I watched your first review, now I gotta go watch your second review. Nah, bro. Just watch my one, and you'll get everything you need. So with all that being said, everybody, have an awesome one, and I will definitely talk to you soon. So with that being said, peace.